How we doing, folks, and welcome back to another video review. I am the techgooch, and today I have another GoPro related accessory, and this time actually a strap mount. I'm not going to go into my thoughts just yet of it. I'm going to save that for a little bit, but I'm going to go over the product itself. And the product I'm speaking of is the Capture POV by Peak Design. Basically, they make a lot of DSLR accessories, to be honest. One of those accessories they make, though, is this one, which crosses over to the point of view cameras. Specifically, it is the GoPro related mount that it actually comes with. It does also come with what they say is a point and shoot mount, or basically a 1/4-20 thread mount for any small camera. This is the Capture POV. They also make the Capture Pro. They also sell just the Capture clip itself, and so you can add accessories as you are the one that you like. But the Capture Pro is situated for DSLRs, so you can actually strap it to your backpack strap, and the DSLR can basically mount to it with a quick release mechanism, so you can just pick it up and shoot it. That way you don't have to sling it over your shoulder while it's banging you, or keep it in your hand. This is so you can actually mount, well, in this case the GoPro, or another point of view camera, or a point and shoot, like I said, and just not pay attention to it, and just go. So it's similar to like a chest mount, like the chesty harness that GoPro makes, but it doesn't strap to your person. It straps to another device that you would have on, a belt, a strap, or something. It also it comes with, like I said, a 1/4-20 adapter as well as a GoPro standard mounting point. And I'll show you. Actually, let's just get right into it. I'll show you the items here. So, here's the box again. Point of view camera, there you can see the little GoPro. If I flip it around, I'll show you how there's a point and shoot camera, in this case the Coolpix waterproof guy, the AW. They have it even strapped to a ski boot, to the strap on the ski boot. Because there's a lot of different ways you can mount this, and that's the neat thing about it. But let's show you how it actually goes. So here it is right here. I have it actually attached to a GoPro. Picture, if I loosen up these little guys here, picture your strap in between, sandwich in there. So this is basically squeezing onto your strap, whatever strap you have. And then the GoPro can adjust angle, to make sure that it is exactly where it's supposed to be. But the neat thing is it's quick release. So it's kind of like the GoPro quick clip, but rather than you squeezing the plastic together and basically bending the plastic, it actually has a mechanism in the plate right here. So let me get a little closer here. So when I push, you see that little guy that moves right there? It's actually locking on to the back of the plate right here. So you can actually the neat thing is you can quick clip this in this way. I mean, all 90 degrees, you can quick clip it. So no matter which way you have it, it will work. And of course my phone's going off. So, but you adjust the quick clip. So, or if you have this on, let's say your belt, for instance, which would be a vertical mount, then you would quick clip it off to the side. And then they do have other mounts, so you can adjust which way or how far it comes out. So for instance, this, if you're vertical, this isn't going to quite get you a vertical shot because it's going to be aiming down. So then you would add on, rather than the GoPro directly mounted to this, you would add on this mount, which brings it out a little bit further. It does 90 degree it as well, so you'd have to adjust how you put it in there. But based on the fact that you can put this in whichever way possible, basically it gets the camera away from the mount. So far, I haven't actually had to use this piece, but the same thing goes if you don't want to use this, which does 90 it. You can use GoPro's standard accessory, so in this case the adjustable one, and then get it out to whatever angle you're going to put it at. I've already used this once because as a video I'll show you here in a minute how I had it mounted. Worked pretty kind of cool to adjust to make sure I had more of a vertical shot. First one I shot, teetered off to the side a little bit, but you'll see that here in a little bit. So this is all basically the front half here, and all the pieces are pretty much they're made out of aluminum. The clip here which actually strap goes onto the strap, has a lot of motion to it. Actually, I shouldn't have undone that side, but they, I mean, it can go on a pretty thick strap, to be honest. And you bring the bag on, and then you know, well, actually this is vertical, and then you just bring it down, and there's a little slot there for slotting around, and then you tighten her down and crank her nice and tight. They also do give you a nice little tool here that actually allows you to grip onto the head of these screws and get a real nice tight mash. So if you have a hard time gripping onto this with your fingers, because these are really thin bolt heads, or whatever you want to call them, they do give you a tool to do it. Like I said, this is the GoPro plate that I have here on my GoPro currently. They also give you a quarter 20 adapter, so it mounts to the GoPro. It's basically, to be honest, you wouldn't even have to use this just on the Capture. You would also be able to use this on anything that uses a GoPro mount to adapt it to a quarter 20 mount for any camera or any accessory. For instance, I don't use a point and shoot camera so much anymore because I have GoPros and everything, but I do have this handy smartphone mount that would attach to that, in which case I have a video here in a little bit that also I show you how my iPhone 6 Plus does, while also using the Capture as well. So what they also give you in addition to this is basically an adapter plate. Sometimes you're going to have a strap that's really thin. So for instance, here in the background, let me come over to this camera. This is my photo hatchback camera that I put my DSLR in when I'm traveling, or if I'm, for this case, I actually use it a lot for my GoPro stuff. All my accessories can basically fit in this bag. If I'm mounting up here, you can see here with the Capture, I can go around the strap and it fits quite nice and snug. So in this case, I can go just with the Capture Pro, or the Capture Pro, for instance, if you went with that one. But if I had a backpack that wasn't nice and padded like this, and it had, you know, maybe just thinner straps like this down here, and I wanted to get, well, that's not going to be so easy to mount on there because it's going to be wobbly and all sorts of crazy. Even if it's against my body, not a whole lot of support. So what they do is they give you this padded piece, which you can then put the strap on, and there we go. And then you can actually get a lot more, you know, substance to push against with the actual mount itself. And then obviously this whole pad is going to be pushing against your body, so you have less likely for it to move around and stuff without you moving around with it, I guess. But they also do include that. I haven't had to use this yet because all of my backpacks have thicker straps, so but it is nice and handy to have this, because the one time you would need to use it is, I mean, it pays for itself. So, but they do include it. There's no additional cost for it. It's just included in the whole box. Lastly, they give you a nice little storage bag where you can throw all the pieces in the bag. That way you can keep track of it. That way you don't get lost. They also, I guess I didn't mention, they do give you 2 different GoPro threaded mount bolts, or whatever you want to call them. Not the same as the standard GoPro, you know, square design, or whatever you want to call it, diamond design, rounded design, which is also perfectly situated for, of course, you know, after you throw it in the bag, you'll lose track of where it is, right? For their little tool they give you. The nice thing is, the tool not only works with these, flip it over, and it works with the standard GoPro system. The standard GoPro ones. So you can see them here. The 2 different size ones too, the big one and the smaller one. So, lastly, on the side here you can see a little Allen key. That's actually specifically for mounting your your point of view camera, or any accessory you go through on the 1/4 thread. It does have a straight screwdriver spot there, but you can actually stick this guy in there, and while you don't have a whole lot of motion because of the little amount here, you get it. I just basically take my little adapter plate and hold onto the screw and twist my adapter, so you could be twisting the camera itself, getting it lined up, and then last just quarter turn, just get it nice and tight. Basically, that's how I work it. So there's no wrong way to mount it, this way or that way. It's just what way works best. Obviously, if we're going to go as vertical as possible, I'm going to want this back here. Because if it was the other way, well, I'm only going to get it to like there. So if you understand what I mean. So let me show you how I mounted it on the strap with my other camera, and we'll go from there. So this is going to be a little more difficult because I'm going to try to do it with the straps of my actual backpack on my body, so it's not going to be quite as easy. But here I have the Capture POV plate. In this case, I'm going to mount it on the front of my pack here, so it's actually going to be almost sticking out like where the chesty would be, but I'm going to put it up a little higher because I found this is the perfect spot for it. The plate itself will be leaning back a hair, and that way I can really get a nice adjustability to the GoPro itself. So all I do is I loosened both bolts up. In this one, you want to go in at least a couple turns, so you're not going to be putting a lot of pressure on just like one thread. You want to have at least a couple threads in there of the bolt, and then put the plate on the back here. So let me try to get a little closer, so maybe it's a little easier. And then swivel it down, and then with the little cut opening, squeeze the pack strap. Make sure I loosen that one up, and then it clips into place just like that. So now it's on there. I haven't tightened it down at all, and so now I can actually adjust it. You can actually, don't even tighten it down. I would just, I have the GoPro here, which has this little plate. I'm gonna actually mount the GoPro to the plate right now. That way, basically, I don't have to worry about getting my fingers in here. You can use the longer bolt as well, but I find the nice small bolt, that way it doesn't interfere with any of this stuff over here. Because once you get it set up, you can crank it down decently tight, and you're still going to be able to get adjustability out of it. It just takes a lot of pressure. So, you can put the GoPro on there, straighten it out, figure out what's going to be best, and then start tightening it down. Now, if you have the GoPro off, you can obviously get to these a little better. And then tighten them down evenly so they both have pressure. You don't want to just tighten one down and have all the pressure on one that has a lot of threads and the other one that has almost no threads in the nut. So that way you have pressure on both sides of the strap as well, rather than just one side. But they're going to get hard to turn. That's when you have the tool, if you so desire. Now, I found that not using the tool, actually, I find I get it plenty tight. But if you really wanted to crank her down, you can obviously use the tool itself, because it's going to be a lot easier to get it really tight with this than it is with your fingers, because they are so flat. They don't really stick out at all. So, we're going to go with that. So now, GoPro's mounted, the Capture POV plate is mounted, and you can still adjust this, even, like, I guess maybe it's because I haven't cranked it way down, but I can still get a little bit of adjustment out of it. And then you can put the plate, and you hear a click. It's not going to lift out. Now, you'll notice that it jiggles. Well, that's what this little black knob right here is for. While this red knob actually is the release, so I can push it in, lift it up, and good to go. Nice thing is, on this little red knob, you can actually turn it. If you turn it 90 degrees, it won't push in. So if the Capture POV is ready and you're trying to, oh man, why won't it release? Well, if you can't push the red knob in, it's because this little plastic guy is turned. And all it is, if you can see it, it's hard to see. You can see that little guy there. You just turn it 90 degrees, and then she pushes in just fine. And then you can lift it out. So, you get it to click in, good to go. On the other side, there's another black knob. It's kind of up here. You crank that down, and what that does, it actually pushes a plate in from the side and push pressure on it. So you can't, even if I was to release it, I can't lift it out now because there's pressure on it. But it's not going to wobble at all. so you won't hear any wobble. So obviously once you set it, you're going to want to do that every time, because that way you don't get any wobble in your footage. You won't hear this click, 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 click as you walk down the road or down the trail or whatever you're using it for. So you crank that down nice and tight, and you're good to go. And that's it. Because from here on out, it's just, you know, in this case, what I've used it for so far, turn it on, hit go, and just go. Now, the beautiful thing about it, and I've never had the chesty harness, so I've never really used that myself, so I'm not going to have hands-on experience with that specific one. Typically, if I want to do something, I'll just put it on my head, and I'll use the head strap, and then I can do it. But every time I'm using the head strap, obviously, it's sticking up. It's not something I'm going to want to wear in public very often, because it's something that screams, hey, look what he's got on, and it's just not as comfortable over a long period of time. I wore this, and here's where I'm going to go to next. I went to the Chicago Auto Show just yesterday actually, and I put this on my strap. This is my testing period. I wanted to do something like either go hiking or something that I was going to be walking around a lot, that I would get footage that wasn't me trying to make it as calm as possible. I wanted me just, this is strapped onto my body, and I'm just moving around. And I found that after a while, I stopped paying attention. I didn't even think that it was on my body. Until I was like, oh yeah, I'm recording. Oh geez. So I got literally hours of footage of walking around the Chicago Auto Show, and a lot of it, you know, from the get-go, obviously, you know, whenever I turn it on, I know it's there. But after a while, I just don't pay attention to it anymore. I took a lot of photos with my DSLR. I was just taking quick photos, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of really fancy stuff. I was just click, 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 click. But I wanted to get, and this is the exact position it was the entire time. I'm going to cut to myself here in a second at, I guess, my introduction to it. I was going to actually put it at different places and put a different my smartphone on there rather than this. And like I said, I kind of forgot it was there for a good section of it. So I never changed the angle. I never changed anything. This is just raw footage of it being right there at the entire auto show. So I'm just going to show, I'm going to go to my intro, do a couple clips, and then I have some more footage for you. So, to me. So how we doing, folks? I'm here at the Chicago Auto Show today, and here to try out the Capture POV kit by Peak Design. I have my GoPro Hero 4 attached to it right now. As you can see, it has this quick release mechanism that basically attaches to this aluminum plate that you actually strap on your backpack strap. Works on a lot of straps. It doesn't even have to be this wider camera strap like this. They actually have an adapter that comes in that I'll show you, and then off to the side I probably already have. But quick and easy to pull off if I need to change my settings on my GoPro. In this case, I'll just snap it into place. And then with this little red guy here is, maybe I've showed you already, locked, so I can't unlock it. But you can see I was a little loose, where I can just tighten it up with this little black guy right here. And then it's nice and tight, and it's not going to fall off. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run it throughout the show today and get some neat, I'm going to run it in 4K on my GoPro, but get some neat footage from my side. I'm also going to have, I also have the tripod adapter, so I'm going to throw on my iPhone onto it as well later on. Try it out with the iPhone versus the GoPro, see if there's a big difference there. Maybe I'll notice maybe since I have an iPhone 6 Plus, it'll probably get in the way of my chin maybe here and there, but we'll give it a try. Maybe I'll try it on a different strap and different locations, but yeah. Can't wait to go in, so we'll see you later. Like that?
Okay, let's go in the back.
And the car of the century. Where'd you first, sir?
Whatever.
Hybrid, plug-in hybrid. That's the ones right there. Dear God. Wow. I'm gonna send that to a few friends.
Not quite that though.
That's a pretty cool looking Jeep. Excuse me. Jumping up. So that was the Capture POV with my GoPro Hero 4 Black at the Chicago Auto Show. I know it's not the most steady in the world. It does jump up and down as I walk. But, you know, to be honest, while I know mounting it on your head will typically give you a little better because your head obviously automatically stabilizes. But, that said, I got footage that I typically would never have gotten because I wouldn't wear it on my head that long. And it was out of the way. It was on a backpack that I was already wearing. It worked awesome. I actually pulled my backpack on and off a few times, and every time I was like, whoa, shoot, I better turn that off first. And I didn't ever take the GoPro off the backpack as I took it off or put it back on. It actually worked really, really good. It never came off, never did anything. So, that said, as you can see behind me, I have it hooked up a different way. I actually put the Capture POV towards the back of the strap as it arches over the back to the actual backpack itself. And then I put that actual GoPro adjustable mount or little arm on it, so I can, you know, straighten it out. Because depending on the backpack, depending on the person, depending on a lot of situations, what's the angle it's going to be sitting off to the side. Because if I go straight up, it's going to be sticking out like that. You're never going to get, you know, vertical video. If you can see, I actually made sure that these little the bolts or whatever were facing toward me, so I could actually easily grab them. And so what you do, or what I did, is I'd get out the GoPro app on my iPhone and see live remote view, see what it looks like, and adjust this accordingly. And then I got it to where I thought I really wanted to see, and then I made this next video. So basically, this is just me walking on a nearby hiking trail. It's a paved hiking trail, so it's going to be a little more jittery as well. But that said, a little bit different view, and you get a lot more of my, my face. So I can actually see myself. So that's kind of neat. Just a different point of view that you can do with this camera mount, with this strap mount. So yeah, check this out. So that's a little different way. As you can see now, I have it back on the front, and what I'm going to do is, for my last video, very similar mount to how I was doing the GoPro originally at the Chicago Auto Show, but this time my little, I guess my GoPro adapter / smartphone rig. So in this case, I have my Ready Cam, which I've done a review on. If you want to watch one of my past reviews, it was on this little mount here for my iPhone, attached to the GoPro adapter that came with the Capture POV and the 1/4 20 standard camera adapter for Capture POV as well. So here we go. And then what I can do is, adjust this and tighten this guy down to get it nice and straight. And lastly, my iPhone itself, put it in its little jaws. And of course there's multiple smartphone adapters out there, but now I have a neat little harness rig for my iPhone. Of course you're going to get a little bit different, it's not going to be as easy to straighten out as the other one, and especially in this case with the iPhone 6 Plus, it's a large, heavy smartphone, so it takes, this one's definitely not going to be as I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot more noticeable. I'll notice this before, because if nothing else, I mean, it's close, but I haven't hit my face on it yet, so it's neat. In this case here, if I tighten it down so it's not rattling as much, you know, it's going to wave a little more. It's going to have a little more flex to it because it's not the actual mount itself. It's the backpack strap. So, but that said, that's another neat way to mount it. So check out this footage.
Maybe give it up a little more.
I am going uphill, so that might make a little bit of a difference. One thing I'm assuming I'm going to see a difference is that the iPhone 6 Plus does have optical image stabilization. So I'm assuming out of the gate it's probably going to be a little smoother. So that's the Capture POV. Hope you'll enjoy the 3 different aspect videos that I did there. One more last time, I went over most of the stuff that it comes with. It does come with a quick guide to show you how to set up and how everything works. Shows you how everything, basically the stuff that I showed you. I didn't go over how, the belt clip, but it, like I said, it can go vertical as well. I didn't attach it to my belt specifically for a video because probably not a shot that I would use so much, but it is usable that way. So if you had a vertical strap and you wanted to, or a horizontal strap, sorry, you can attach it vertically and still get a decent shot out of it. Last thing that I didn't mention actually was, this plate can come apart, and the polycarbonate part back here, which the Capture POV or the Capture Pro version, this thing is all aluminum rather than aluminum front with a plastic back. This piece back here is aluminum as well. I don't have that one. That one's a little more expensive as well, but that one's actually built for DSLR cameras, so a lot more weight, so rather than having the plastic. But they do give you 2 different size thumb screws. All the videos that I've shot were with the standard thumb screws that were in the shorter ones, but they do give you longer ones as well. So, if you have a thicker strap, you can go to the longer screw. And I would definitely, if your strap's even on the edge and you're only a few threads in, I would probably just switch to the longer ones anyway, because you're never going to hurt going, it's better to have more threads in there so you don't strip it out. Last thing you want to have is strip it out, because then it's done. But, that is an option as well. They give you 2 size thumb screws. I know, I was calling it bolts throughout the whole thing. So that is the Capture POV from Peak Design. I'm going to be using it a lot more because, like I said, it's the first mount that I've ever used for my GoPro that I forgot the GoPro was there. Yes, it was in front of me. Yes, if I looked down, there it was. But I was too enticed into other things that were going on, and it was awesome to get a whole bunch of footage that, I never would have gotten otherwise. So, with that said, if you are a backpacker, so you are wearing a backpack, a hiker, and you're wearing a backpack, a cyclist where you're wearing a backpack, those 3 things, absolutely get this mount, because this mount is awesome. Capture POV. In addition to that, you can see how you can actually, like I showed you on that picture, you can attach it to a ski boot. If you're a snowboarder or a skier, a lot of them wear backpacks as well. I did, so I will be using that snowboarding as well. If you do anything where you're wearing a pack of some kind, this is a fantastic mount for your point of view camera. That said, on your belt, on a boot, on, there's a lot of different things that you can attach this to. The sky's the limit. As long as it's a strap of some kind, you can get this thing on there. So probably on a kayak, if you, depending on the web straps things that you use, other than a pack that you would obviously have on as well, there are lots of opportunities. But it's designed for a flat webbing or a flat strap of some kind. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'd highly appreciate it. Please comment below with any comments and questions you have. You can also message me direct, but check us over at Facebook, facebook.com/techgooch, and you'll be able to find me there. And I'm definitely updating the Facebook page more often than I used to in the past. So if you have a question, you comment, or something you want to discuss, follow me there, because that's going to be a really easy way to get in contact with me. If you have any suggestions for future reviews, let me know. Or if you have a product that you'd like me to review, let me know. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.